You're ready to transmute a significant series of connections in your life. Connections that on some level you know no longer serve you, are no longer aligned with the authentic self that you are recognizing more and more so each day. And when this particular message is showing up, it's showing up as a reflection of the momentum of the choice that is already underway inside of you. And it comes with a few key messages, a few key perspectives for you to remember. As you transmute the connections and the energy that has been stored in those connections, as you reclaim that energy for yourself and clear even further and deeper space for your authentic new connections, new creations, and maybe reforged connections to step forward at this time. Now, I'm Danielle Lim. I am your reality surfer friend across and beyond time and space. And I show up with synchronistic reflections such as this one because you and I are rad cats who are here to live our most authentic flow-based life as who we truly are. And this is just one of the ways that we roll, baby. You are at the phase of your journey where there are some lingering connections that are ready for transmutation. Now, this isn't to say that you haven't already done some significant transmuting of connections, situations, relationships, a lot of shedding, a lot of releasing. But there is a difference between 80%, 90%, 99%, and 100%. I perceive you're at the juncture in your journey where you have seen we'll say the power and the effect and the results that have come from continuing to align as who you truly are, to the point where anything that is not resonating as a yes to your core alignment is more and more easily falling away from your space at this time. When this happens, we sometimes find that what's left are some of the more sticky connections, the more lingering connections and situations. Maybe they have a lot of sentimental value to us, consciously or unconsciously, or maybe they've just been around for a really long time, or maybe there's an aspect of ourselves that has identification with a certain degree of that connection or where it sits in our lives. Whatever the reason, I imagine you're here because even those connections, if they are not resonating with the trajectory that you find yourself on, operating as who you truly are, on some level, you're ready to be complete with them. So I'm actually going to reflect to you a experience or practice you can guide yourself through while also being deeply loving and deeply compassionate, both for yourself and anyone or anything else that is involved in the connection. Because we're not actually attacking people here. This isn't even really about any other person. It's about the connection and the field of connection shared between you and another. And more importantly, is it actually balanced? Is it actually honoring yourself and the other? And most importantly, does it resonate with the core of who you are, of the you that you are embracing and embodying on all levels as you have been more and more self-aware? For many years, I have been both a private and group facilitator, and one of the things that I guide many beings through is their deep interpersonal connections and relationships, both navigating the ones they have and effectively magnetizing and calling in those who they are connecting with. And one of the things that I see a lot of is the perceived balance between the heart and the head, right? All these things in between. And the things that people sometimes sort through is the difference between what is acceptable to them in the connection and the genuine love that they feel and that they share with another or with another person. And then they'll sometimes conflate these two. We're acknowledging that you can experience a deep and authentic love or connection or field with another person, and yet it can still be that the way the connection currently is no longer resonant for one or more of you. And that is the point that we invite transmutation. The invitation is first to connect within yourself. First to connect within yourself and find a few words that describe what you are most alive with, not only calling forward in friendships and partnerships, but that you yourself are committed to embodying and cultivating within your life. Because when we are invoking or calling in connections with another, on some level, there is also what we are bringing to the field. So now I'll share with you a magic step. I love calling it a magic step because it feels like magic, but it is actually quite practical. And I find flows very effectively with the mechanics of this reality. In this step, you're being invited to invoke, to call forward, to declare what is a yes for you at the deepest, fullest, clearest level that you know. Now, in preparation for this, I would invite you to either have a book or a voice recorder. And what you can do is you can start by giving yourself some space to focus inward. Focus inward on your heart is usually where I like to focus. If you already have a meditation practice, you can do it with your meditation practice. Feel your heart and say to yourself, when I am enjoying connection, the most authentic connection I can imagine from this point, what are the traits and the values that I admire the most? And just let yourself imagine, feel, and then perhaps open your eyes and start writing what comes forward. Or again, if you're using a recorder, start speaking into it. Speak forward what is most alive for you in connections. Maybe it's people being of integrity. Maybe it's them having a sense of humor. Maybe it's them being self-aware. Maybe it's bringing a sense of peace into a situation. Maybe there's someone reliable that you can count on. Maybe there's someone that you have other shared values with that you can build things with. It doesn't have to be perfect. Give yourself some permission to give voice to the energy that is present within you. What it feels like when you are picturing a connection that your heart is open, you sit up a little stronger, you're like, yes, these people, this person, this way. This is something that already exists within you. So it's not so much that you have to find it. It's that you're giving yourself permission to feel and translate what that feeling might say. Now, once you have a few words, okay, and again, this doesn't have to be perfect. Just start with something that feels the most alive for you right now. What you can do from here is create your own version of a declaration of what you are committed to in connections and relationships. Now, after you have a few, pick maybe 3 or 4 that feel alive for you. And you have the opportunity to create a very distinct invocation of what you are ready to focus on in your life. I'm going to share with you an example that I wrote. And you can test this one out for yourself, or you can workshop it and you can create your own version of it. What I imagine I'll do is I'll also place it in the description link, the written out portion here, so that you can more easily see it or read it for yourself and play with your own versions of it. All right. So here's my version. At this now moment, I invoke. I am focused on and prioritize authentic, source self level connections that are coherent with my values here and now and across time and space. At this time, those values include coherence between self, actions, words, and intentions, a willingness to have a curiosity and humor-first approach with life, respect for the self and all others involved, honoring of consent, playfulness, and resourcefulness, even during times of challenge. I invite you to play with your version of this, or if that one feels resonant to you, give it a whirl. When we are calling these things forward, it's not simply about the words we are speaking. It is about our commitment to the coherence to live by and abide by the words, the energy, and the intention we form. The words are just part. They're just part of the multidimensional living of what you have just called forward. And so one thing that helps is repetition, repeatedly writing it or speaking it or placing it in a place that you see consistently. But it's not only about the words as mentioned. It is also about any time you are having a connection or exploring a connection or considering connecting with someone, you might invite yourself to pause, to simply check in your heart and say, is right now a resonant time for me to connect with this being? And it doesn't even have to be someone you're having a challenge with. We can have wonderful, beautiful people in our lives, but maybe focusing energy with them right now isn't actually boosting or amplifying your field. Maybe there are other beings to focus on right now. And it's usually not a big mystery. Like usually you'll feel a certain hesitation or a slowness in connecting. And this can baffle people because they're like, but I like this person. And I'm like, you can absolutely like them. And maybe this is just a juncture in your story where that connection can be what it is without active instigation. And you can trust that whenever, wherever it is time to reinstigate that, it can be so. And so one thing to you, my friend, maybe more than one, but we'll start with one. One thing to reflect to you is as you embody this call for authentic connection, please note, you may find that certain connections will rise up to test you at this time. And I would simply say to you that if you're finding a particular challenge with any being, experiment with and apply the Ho'oponopono prayer. I'm sorry, please forgive me. I love you, I'm grateful. I'm sorry, please forgive me. I love you, I'm grateful. One more time, I'm sorry, please forgive me. I love you, I'm grateful. Doing things in threes or more is quite nice. The Ho'oponopono prayer, very, very powerful prayer. It is a prayer of reconciliation and release. And when there's particularly sticky energies that may be showing up either inside you or around you, adherence to this prayer, I find, is a powerful, powerful transmuter. So please apply it as feels appropriate to your situation and to your experience, with reverence for its origins. You really are at a potent place in your journey. And so I invite you to respect your energy, because that's what this is about. Respect your energy through a deep amount of self-love and navigation. Know that you are right where you need to be. And if you feel inspired to explore resonant communities and other offerings I have, you can check the description link. You can check the Self-Alchemy Lab, fun community, we're focusing there. Or check the Flow Book, powerful tool. In all cases, my friend, I very much appreciate you and look forward to our next reflection.